What's going on, world?
What's happening?
It's Casey Vibe, and we are back to Vibe yet one more week with you guys.
How y'all doing out there today?
Alright, so we got a lot to talk about in this podcast. We got a nice little podcast topic for you. And we get to tell you guys a little bit about our Valentine's Day because I don't think we've talked to them since Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, it was a treat. It was a real good treat.
Yeah, so as always, go ahead and pour up your drink, pour up your tea,
Yep.
get your snacks, get everything ready during this introduction because when we come back, we coming back strong. You ready?
Some hotness.
Let's go. All right, and just like that, we are back.
Like we never left what you talking about.
Actually, I did left. I did leave.
Oh, that's the see, that's that Don's education system.
I had to change clothes. I had to get comfortable. Y'all don't got video yet, so I had to get comfortable.
It'll be coming to a theater near you soon.
So look, first things first, let's talk about Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did so much.
Good.
It was so nice, and it was good to have a reset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a parent, even though we do date nights, twice a week, and then every other week, right? As a parent, you get so caught up in everything going on with your kids. Like, our kids are in so much, so we're always going between band concerts and choir and sports events and after school activities, all that. So it was so nice to just have a weekend with just me and you, just a complete reset. We didn't have to worry about anything.
Nothing. Shout out to the in-laws, you know.
Yep, the kids went with my parents, and so that's another thing. Being able to know that, you know, your kids are safe, so you really don't have anything to worry about. It was so nice. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did. I enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, so we went to Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Thinking about Omaha, you might think there's nothing to do, but it was actually a gorgeous. They have a beautiful downtown area. We went to a vegan restaurant called Modern Love that I enjoyed. It was really good.
It was good.
We did a carriage ride through the downtown area, which was very nice.
There's a lot of history out there that a lot of people don't know about either. I mean, because when you think about Nebraska, Omaha, you think about nothing because
corn.
because corn. but they do got a history out there. I mean that's pretty interesting. I mean they got a lot of artistic like pieces and stuff like that. So
then we got to cap the nice night out in a nice little hotel.
Yep.
A nice little bubbly.
Yep.
And then what was the other name of that restaurant?
You gotta keep it PG-13.
What's that other restaurant?
What was the zombie restaurant?
It was a Monster Club. We went to the Monster Club, which was a monster themed restaurant. That food was actually really good as well. It was a great vibe. Service was great.
Yeah, they got these statues and pictures and stuff of all these monsters from back in the day. Yeah, I'm a little tired, man. Be out though. From who they supposed to have Freddy, but they didn't have Freddy.
Yeah,
they had Freddy.
I was missing out on my boy.
She's mad about that.
Yeah,
but they had like Friday the 13th stuff.
Jason,
and,
the Invisible Man. They had Pennywise. Michael Myers.
Matthew Myers. Oh yeah, Michael Myers.
Who is Matthew? That's his brother.
Yeah.
You been watching the bootleg version?
Yeah, I did. Okay. The VHS.
Lord. So overall, it was so nice. If you're close to the area, I suggest driving out there, doing just a weekend trip. It was really nice. Nice little reset, nice little getaway. Now it's like back to reality.
Back to life.
Yup.
Back to reality.
So let's get into this right here. This chair is very loud. You're gonna hear this chair. Let's get into this right here. So a lot of times Chad and I have discussions, and sometimes we have to pause the discussions and be like, you know what? We're gonna finish this on the podcast. And today was one of those days that he brought up a topic that I really. It's like you think about the topic, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and break it down?
Well, I think it be on more men minds than it does women. The thing about it is submission. All right, now, do you believe that a woman should submit to her husband, or a wife should submit to her husband? I'm not talking about a boyfriend. I'm not talking about a friend. I'm talking about a husband. I do honestly believe that a woman should submit to her husband, but a lot of women these days do have an issue with that. So the discussion was supposed to be, hey, look, do you think submission, a wife should submit to her husband or not?
That wasn't your question, though. I
What was
want
the
you to
question?
ask the question the way that you asked the question.
I forgot how I asked the question. So.
Your exact words was, why do women find it difficult to submit to their husbands?
Yeah, that's the question. Why do women find it, or I say wives, find it difficult to submit to their husbands? Yeah, that's the question.
Okay, so in what aspects are you?
In the aspect of like everything. I mean, when it comes to finances and stuff like that. Now, not just finances, but anything in general. Like, I honestly believe. Now, this is probably old school mentality, but my wife, she does this. She did it. You know, especially when she was a stay-at-home mother at the time she was. When I came home from work, she had dinner ready. You know, a lot of men don't get that. I mean, a lot of men want that. Some men probably don't, but a lot of men do. So to me, having dinner ready for your husband, that's being submissive. Is that not to you? It's not? Okay.
No.
So what is your version of being submissive?
So I'm gonna break it down like this. Me as a female, right? As your wife,
mm-hmm.
I have no issue submitting to my husband. And I say that to a certain extent. I have no issue submitting to my husband to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
While we are in public, I will never embarrass you. I have never embarrassed you. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm extremely whatever you, all that other stuff, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to allow you to do something that will embarrass yourself.
This comes with decision making, right?
A lot of times you feel that not being submissive is not allowing you to have all of the answers. Nah, that's not it. But see, when we first got married and we signed on the line or whatever, we paid our little $25. We became one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Came the trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me, you, man upstairs. But we became one, which means that all of your actions reflect upon me, and the same thing vice versa.
Of course, yeah.
So I don't think that's submission. To me, that was just, I wasn't submitting to you when I was making dinner and all that other stuff. It was just common courtesy, doing the kindness out of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was a stay-at-home mom, yeah, it was easier. But now I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I work and I still have dinner ready for you.
Yeah, you do.
Every night. Yeah. So that's not an excuse. That's not being submissive. But see, a lot of guys, you included in the beginning, had a very old school mentality. Because you were raised where the men pretty much ran everything and women had no say-so.
I wouldn't say they didn't have a say-so. I would say, I'm sorry, excuse me, pardon me. When the decision is made, the man had the final, that's it. This is what we're going to do. And it was no questioning that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now, may talk to his wife about it, you know. She may be like, well, Frank, I don't know if that's a good idea. But at the same time, when Frank be like, well, Sally, look, Sally, we're doing this, Sally, okay? I'm putting my foot down, Sally. That's it. That was it. You hear me?
You kind of explain the differences between the two cultural relationships, right? I'm not going to be the one. If Frank is like, look, Sally, we're finna go out here. We just got paid. We're gonna take our whole check and we're gonna put it right here on these horses. And these horses gonna make us extra money.
Yeah.
Me and Sally, I'm not gonna be like, okay, Frank, whatever you say. Heck no. I'm gonna be like, Frank, you done fell, bumped your head, and you're gonna be living with them horses if you don't get your life together. I mean, that's the difference between a submissive woman on this side and a submissive woman on the other side.
But I saw it on our side.
You're not gonna make a fool out of me. But like I told you, I brought it up earlier when you brought up the topic. I said some females are submissive not by choice, but because they don't have a choice.
But why wouldn't they have a choice though?
Because you have some females where the men take care of everything. They're paying bills. They putting food on the table. They making sure everyone taking care. They have nothing on their own, so they can't afford to step out of line, because at any given moment, old Paul, Luke, whoever you call, he can pull the plug.
And guess what? A lot of women don't think about this. If Paul, Luke, Frank, whoever pulled the plug, you don't think that woman got no authority?
Chad,
to tap into them bank accounts.
How?
To get the...
That's another thing. We have a relationship where we do have access to bank accounts and everything's joint. A lot of relationships aren't like that.
I know.
Like, I've heard so many people say, this can't, my bank account, my bank account, my bank account. This is mine. It's like, there is no separating the two.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot too. I have. And that's, I mean, you got to understand. We have an advantage too, because we always share bank accounts regardless, because when you was the stay-at-home mother, which you did a wonderful job with, we had one bank account. It was the checks that I was getting from the Army, right? Mm-hmm. So we already shared a bank account. We didn't separate bank accounts until you started working.
And we did not separate bank accounts because of that.
No, not because of that, no.
We separated bank accounts because there's multiple bank accounts in which you have access to all of the bank accounts. And I have access to all the bank accounts. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there's some people who separate their bank account and their significant other don't know what's in it, where, nothing.
Now, do you think, I mean, that's right? I mean, some people, that's just how they operate. I mean, we don't operate like that, but
I mean,
some people operate like that and they're happy like that. But at the same time, it could lead to more drama, because you like, oh man, you know, Sally could be like, Frank, let me hold $20, and Frank would be like, well, Sally, I ain't got the $20 today, and she'd be like, well, what you spend your money on, Frank? You know,
Sally,
I'm just using these people as examples. I'm using this as an example.
Are they from the Little House on the Prairie?
They could be.
God,
I don't know.
damn.
But I'm using that as an example. Like, it could lead to more drama. You know what I'm saying? Because Sally could think that Frank spending his money on other things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you never know. That's why I think that it just depends on the couple, whether they want to share an account or not. You know, but with that being said, I still believe that, you know, when it comes down to a decision for the family, it should be based on both the man and the woman coming up with an agreement on a certain decision. But at the same time, now you know it. The man is the head of the household. Am I wrong?
No, but at the same time, like I've told you countless times before, you can wear the pants, but someone has to be in control of the zipper. This is the thing. Not all decisions that come from a man is the right decision that needs to be made.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
So your question was, why do women find it difficult submitting to their husband?
Yeah.
My counter follow up is, a woman would not. What?
Your rebuttal. Your rebuttal is not your counter. Whatever you would say. That was not. Go ahead. I get what you were saying.
You ready? Because I'm going to give you a question. So
go
you
ahead.
got a lot of jokes and all your words are together. Let's make sure they're together after this.
Okay, go ahead. Man.
A woman would be easier to submit to a man if he actually acts like a man. So my follow-up question is, why is it that a man is so determined to show how much of a man he is or express how much of a man he is, not by his actions, but by his words? Every time a situation comes up and any man is talking about what he wants to do or what he wants to be done, the first thing that they say is, I'm a grown man. Okay, if you're a grown man, your actions speak that. You shouldn't have to say that over and over and over again, right?
Okay.
So how is it a female is supposed to submit to somebody who acts like a toddler at times?
Okay. Can I answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay. So the only time we really bring that up, I'm a grown ass man, is when we feel like that our manhood is being tested or tried. So we have to put up this mechanism like, hey, what you mean? Look, I'm not a child here. I'm a grown ass man. You know who you are. I'm grown just like you grown. So it's not saying, hey, look, I'm any less of a man or I can't do the job that I need to do as a man. It's just that it's a defense mechanism that we have to put up emotionally, because that plays a toll with man. We feel like we play with our manhood. We get into that mode like, hey, wait a minute, you can't do that. That's against the rules. You feel me?
But 9 times out of 10, that statement comes after y'all done or said something childish. That's the thing.
I can't speak on behalf of anybody else.
A real man should not have to use all of these words to prove his manhood to people. I know you a man. I married you. Yeah. It wouldn't be legal if you were a little boy or if you were a child. I couldn't do it. Look, I couldn't do it. But I know that you're a grown man. You don't have to tell me that countless times over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a mutual thing at the same time. You know, you have women that say the same thing about themselves. I'm a grown ass woman. I've heard that countless times.
The same thing.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing, though. It's like, why do you feel... Usually when people feel the need to say that, it's because something has been said or done.
Yeah.
That was childish as all get out. And now they got to prove their grownness to the rest of the world. And that's stupid. So, do I have an issue submitting to my husband? I submit to my husband all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, you do. I mean,
but there's a difference between me being submissive and us being in a partnership during that.
Okay.
Because one thing about a relationship is hands in hands vulnerability, right? Mm-hmm. There's times in which I am vulnerable and I have to come to you, and the same thing vice versa. You are vulnerable and you have to come to me. Am I saying you're submitting to me? No. It's no submission. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
It's something that we're doing together. Exactly. So I think the issue is the words that are used, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that females have a difficult time submitting to their husband. It's that word. You're going to submit to me.
So the word within
you
itself.
need to be submissive to me, because it's so much that can be taken
out of context.
Yeah.
So submission is one of them words where it's like, oh, I'm giving up everything to basically put you up.
It's like I'm putting you on a pedestal.
Absolutely. So if we use a different word besides submission, partnership.
I mean, that's what it is.
Submission is not a partnership. It's not. And it's come to me talking to you about this right now for me to realize that. It's not a partnership. Submission is you basically decreasing yourself.
Right.
To
increase you.
Uphold somebody else. So, yeah, I get that. Like I said, it was, I always said, look, the man has to find a say-so. Mm-hmm. That's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying?
So
that's
how we were raised. Zaddy, personal experience. Would you say that if we would have went with your final say so, we would be in better situations.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I made some dumb decisions.
Had I been submissive and not been like, "Hey, Zaddy, I don't think we should do that," we could have been in some sticky situations. We could have been in some messed up situations,
right? Yeah, of course.
Females have a difficult. I'm gonna talk about this in another podcast. Females have a difficult time already not losing themselves. They become mothers. They become wives. Their sisters, their daughters. They got so many titles and they get pulled in so many different directions, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times with them being pulled in all those different directions, they lose their self. Because if you keep taking a piece out of you, giving it to other people, sooner or later, you're not going to have none of yourself left over. And that's why a lot of people suffer from like mommy depression and stuff like that, which I'll talk about that in another podcast. So when you're giving all these pieces to all these different people and you only got a little bit of you left, if your husband is saying you need to take that last little bit of you that you got left and get that to me, she's going to disappear. You get what I'm saying?
It's a good analogy.
She is going to completely disappear. So it's not, I don't like the word submissive. I do like the word vulnerable. Because I think we're vulnerable with one another. Different situations calls for different times of vulnerability. So it's okay to be vulnerable, but submissive, that's just a
But that's just the word that was used. I mean, that's the word that's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of stuff in the Bible.
That was the word that was used from generation to generation to generation. We didn't just come up with that word today. So submission was the word that was put in the Holy Book.
And that's so why a lot of people have an issue with relationships. That's why a lot of people, some have an issue with the Bible because of the wording. Yeah. Like, you can't tell me to be submissive to you. Now, you can tell me to be vulnerable with you. I tell you that all the time. Because we go through life with this mask on. So when we're with one another, we should be able to be vulnerable with one another. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You got the hiccups. Okay. I was trying to finish my statement before I came out. We should be able to be vulnerable with each other. That's why, honestly, I don't believe in gender roles in a relationship.
That's kind of a two-headed sword there, because not gender roles, okay, not but specific duties.
What duties?
Specific.
What? Specific.
Specific. You know what I'm talking about.
You said Pacific. I thought we were going swimming.
No. And what I mean by that is that, okay, remember how that tree fell in our backyard a couple months ago, right? Mm-hmm. I would not get my daughters to come out there and help me chop that tree down.
And that's what irritated me.
Okay. Why would you want my daughters to cut down? I'm sorry. Why would you want my daughters to cut down a tree?
Because one day these little girls are going to become grown women. And one day these grown women are going to be living in their own houses.
I get that.
And one day a tree might fall in their backyard. And our daughters won't be able to go out there and take care of the tree by themselves. They will have to depend on another man to come in and take care of it for them.
I get that. I understand.
When it's not a difficult task. It's something that everyone could have did. We moving wood. It's not that difficult. Throw some gloves on and start moving them jokes. It's not that difficult.
And I get that.
I don't want our children to have to, our daughters especially, to have to depend on anybody. I was raised the same way. My father had 3 girls. Yeah. My dad taught us how to change brakes, change oils, fix a flat tire. He taught us how to do all this stuff, and his exact words was, I don't want you to have to depend on no man for nothing. And it came into play. We went through 2 deployments together. It was just me, solo dolo at the house. If I didn't know how to do half the stuff that I did because my dad taught me how to do it, I would have had to start depending on the neighbors' husbands or something to come over there and help me do something because my husband wasn't there. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So that's why when it comes to taking the trash out, them girls can take the trash out. When it comes to washing dishes, our sons can wash dishes. Mm-hmm. When it comes to doing laundry, everyone can do laundry because it's a never-ending chore in this house.
Yeah. Like I said, I understand that. It's just that I just can't. I don't know. I mean, you're right about that. It should be an all-around thing, but when it comes to certain things like that, chopping, using a chainsaw.
They weren't using the chainsaw.
We used the chainsaw.
You were using the chainsaw.
Yeah.
They were moving the wood.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They weren't using the chainsaw. Look, I found this, right? This meme. And it's perfectly to what we talking about right here. It says, a relationship with no gender roles. We both hustle. We both cook. We both clean. We both play. We both pay. We both spoil each other. That right there is the type of relationship, honestly, that we have. We don't have gender-specific roles in our relationship. And it works out perfectly because we're able to pick up each other's slack. When I'm like, oh, baby, I'm tired. You like, okay, well, you need me to cook dinner tonight?
Yeah, that happens, yeah.
Or when I was in the hospital, when I had the babies, I didn't have to worry about someone starting a meal train for my family because my husband knows how to cook.
I mean, that's a crying damn shame. If you're a man out there and you need a meal train when your wife is in the hospital pregnant to feed your other kids, you need to reevaluate some things, my bro.
I'm just saying there's no gender roles. Yeah. But there's some men who are these manly men. They don't go in the kitchen. A kitchen is not my place.
Yeah, I mean, but that is kind of crazy though. And I mean, when you actually
think about it,
you know.
And that's why I hate when you try to put specific. You got me saying specific tasks on our children, because it's like, no, everyone can pull weight, because that's how we successful. Everyone pulls weight makes us successful. Because sometimes you think of stuff that I don't think of. I think of stuff that you don't think of.
That's your question.
Yeah.
So let's say the car got stuck up the road. So we had to push it back home. I got 2 boys. So I'm going to call my daughters instead of my boys out there?
I'll call whoever pick up the phone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But I get what you're saying, and I honestly, truly believe that. I really do.
Check this out.
But it's society that we live in. Look at what's going on, even in sports.
Listen.
Certain men can play certain sports that women can't play.
The trash.
Yes, the trash.
It's sitting on side of the trash can, right?
Yeah.
It needs to go out.
Yeah.
The trash man is about to run. Rick is at practice. AJ can't take out the trash right now. Got Kamora and Azaria sitting there. We're not home yet, but we need to take that trash out. Does the trash not get taken out because there's nobody here to take it out, or do one of the girls go put it in the trash can?
One of the girls gonna have to put it in the trash can.
Exactly. Because it's not gonna kill them dumping trash. Me growing up, I took the trash out. I cut grass. I worked on cars.
Because you was different. You was different. Your dad didn't have no boys, right? So. And you were the oldest. Am I correct?
Josie and Dee Dee did the same thing. Matter of
fact,
I
ain't never seen Josie take no trash out.
When Josie was just home over the Christmas break, and Pops was working on her car, fixing her brakes or whatever it was he was fixing, she went out there and was helping.
I mean, you told me about that.
So it's no gender roles. Everyone should be able to do it. And that comes from, 1, my father raising me that way, and 2, from me having a powerful mother. There's nothing that my mom can't do. My mom doesn't sit on the side and be like, oh, nope, gotta wait for your dad to come do this. Oh, nope, gotta wait for your dad to come do this. Same thing with my dad. My dad will cook dinner.
Yeah, I know.
He'll clean up after himself. He'll throw some clothes in the laundry if he have to. Because that right there is how you make a partnership work.
So, moral of the story is, submission does not work.
Submission does not work. Vulnerability works in certain circumstances.
So in this new day and age, since we are supposed to be increasing in knowledge through the generations, we're coming to find out that a relationship is not gender specific, but more of a neutral partnership. That makes sense?
Yeah. And if you followed generations and we did stuff according to the generations, there's so much stuff that would not be getting done today.
But it's still
because it's stuff that our ancestors
didn't believe in. Stuff still the same, baby. Look, Thanksgiving. We in the goddamn living room watching football.
No, y'all not. Y'all outside frying the turkey.
Yeah.
Cooking. Yeah. You see how that changes a little bit? Babe, if we did stuff the way that they did stuff 150 years ago, we'd still be doing just missionary position and
see,
that's it.
You have to take it down.
Listen, you have to realize stuff changes.
I know stuff changes.
And when stuff changes, stuff evolves, we evolve with it. As long as we're moving in the right direction and we're not doing anything that'll cause harm to one another or our children or anyone around us, we're moving in the right direction. And when I say cause harm, it's not going to kill somebody to throw a load of laundry in the wash machine.
I know. It's you right. I mean, it's just the way we are. We are hardwired to believe that there's certain things that we shouldn't do. And it's like, if you do it, guess what? You're not a man.
Yeah, stupid.
So, and ain't nobody, we got big ass egos. We have egos. Somebody came up to me and was like, hey look, guess what? You in here washing dishes? You in here cooking? Bro, don't you got a wife? You in here doing laundry? You got a wife. Back in my day, my wife did that while I was out there in the backyard smoking a cigar. That's how we were raised.
You know what I'm saying? How partnership work.
Yeah, and that's what we realized.
If I spend all day cooking, all day cleaning, and then after I finish cleaning, I gotta do this laundry. I gotta pick this laundry up. I gotta make sure all the kids are taken care of. Make sure that they're clean. Make sure that they're in bed. Make sure that their hair is all wrapped up so they don't look like slaves the next day. If I'm doing all this by myself and all this takes until about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night before I lay down, am I going to have any energy to do anything else?
No, you're not. And that's why them boys... No,
Look, am I going to have energy to do anything else?
No, not at all. Not at all.
If I am cooking dinner, I get dinner cooked, everyone gets fed and all that. If you're like, hey, baby, I'll take care of these dishes while you work on getting the babies bathed and all that. You washing dishes, I'm bathing the babies, everyone down by 9:30. And it's just me and you.
It's just me and you. Exactly. We both got enough energy still to have some attention to ourselves. So
that's where that partnership comes into play.
Absolutely.
Because people wonder why we've talked about sex in the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some dudes wonder why they expect their wife to do all this stuff. They expect their wife to be submissive and all that. But they're the same dudes who complain about only having sex once a month. Like, the girl is tired. She don't feel like doing nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to think about that. You really do, brother.
So, vulnerability, yes. Submission, wrong word.
Just no, period. To submission.
Yeah, it's the wrong word. It's a okay concept with the wrong word. I think we should submit to one another.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's not one-sided.
Yeah. A lot of my brothers gonna kill me about this one, but yeah, that's true, man. It's true.
I mean, we've been doing it for 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
And this worked just fine for us. Right?
Yep, absolutely did. And it absolutely is gonna continue to.
Yep. Well, dang, we are out of time.
Yep.
And I hear the school bus. Our kids are coming home, so it is about to get loud in here.
Yep.
So, as always, if you would like to reach out to me, you can reach me at TikTok, AYO_KO and the number 2. That's AYO_KAYO and the number 2. You can also look me up on Instagram, _knockout on Instagram. That's DAREAL_knockout.
And you can hit your boy on TikTok and on Snapchat at MartyMar86. That's at MARTIMAR, my bad, 86. That's all I got.
Yep. And if you're looking for the podcast, hit us up. We're starting the TikTok. So if you want to go ahead and add the KC Vibe TikTok page, you can go ahead and do that. On Instagram, we are KC Vibe Podcast on Instagram. On Facebook, we are KC Vibe Podcast on Facebook. If you have any questions or concerns, you can hit us up at askkcvibe@gmail.com. That's askkcvibe@gmail.com. Hey, last thing I want to say is thank you for all the love and the support. I see you guys are listening. I see you guys are blowing the podcast up. I need you to do one more thing for me. I need you to go rate this bad boy. Rate the podcast. I need you to go to our social medias, like and review the pages. So rate, like, review, share with your friends, subscribe. Your mama, your daddy, your sisters, your cousin, uncles, all that fun stuff, all right? Got anything else, babe?
Subscribe.
Yeah. Well, as always, I'm the K.
And I'm the C.
Thanks for vibing with us. Bye.